Welcome to Have I Got News for You? I'm Professor Hannah Fry. In the news this week, in Whitehall, with several ministers not expecting to be back after the next election, a rather nice Rembrandt suddenly disappears from the wall. After more than an hour waiting for the Labour leader, the camouflage unit of the Royal Fusiliers are beginning to wonder where Keir Starmer is. And late for a meeting in the Capitol building, Joe Biden makes a quick dash across town from the White House. On Ian's team tonight is a comedian who works as an NHS anaesthetist. So if you are a former patient and you recognise him, he obviously didn't do his job properly. Please welcome Ed Patrick. On Paul's team tonight is a comedian who, in her spare time, loves going diving and says, I'm so lucky to have seen some of the things I've seen underwater. Well, there's someone who hasn't swum in the Thames recently. Please welcome Zoe Lyons. We begin with the bigger news stories of the week. Ian and Ed, have a little look at this.
Some good-looking PPE. Rishi doing his bit for the environment.
Oh, and that's the capital gains tax rally. Yeah!
This is Labour's plan to close tax avoidance loopholes to raise more money to throw at the NHS.
They had a problem, didn't they? Because the Tories stole their idea, which was to stop non-doms, which is an idea some of us have had for years. And the thing was, we were going to crack down on tax fraud. And this will raise the money, and then we can start reforming the NHS and paying you better.
Well, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Are we for that?
About half the audience were convinced.
Let's hear from those people who are against it.
The only reason he's on is so we can see a doctor.
I do have quite a nasty rash I'd like to have a look at.
Stay with the NHS. What has a medical centre in Kent been asking patients to do?
I'll perform their own operations.
It won't be long, will
Yeah.
it?
Honestly, you're not far off.
Really?
Really?
Oh, perform operations on each other. I think there should be a show, you know, celebrity surgery. Your chance to have your spleen removed by Joe Pasquale.
No, a medical centre in Kent sent this message to patients. If you have booked a 24-hour blood pressure or 24-hour ECG appointment only, please bring 2 AA Duracell batteries for the machine. We're going to go back to tax for a minute.
Let's.
Who else is in the firing line when it comes to tax?
Is it
Unpaid
Angela
tax.
Rayner?
It is Angela Rayner. Now, I know, Ian, you were a bit dismissive of this last week, so if you could pay attention.
No, there is an issue here in that Labour announcing a tax clampdown and the same week as Angela Rayner won't publish the details of her capital gains tax. So you can see there is a problem, and you're only allowed, even if you're married, to have one principal residence. And so people keep saying, why doesn't she just publish her tax advice and clear the matter up?
It was interesting because I wonder how much of it is a sort of genuine mistake, because we all make mistakes, you know. I accidentally certified my own death once, you know.
I thought you were about to say, I've killed a number of people.
Myself, yeah.
And what are the Tories demanding now?
That she publishes the legal advice.
Close. They're saying Starmer must launch a probe into Rayner.
There's a sci-fi film you don't want to see, isn't it?
Why do you think, though, the Tories and the Conservative supporting press are so keen to take Angela Rayner down, though?
They're utterly terrified of her. And they know that they're going to lose the next general election. I mean, they're dropping like flies, aren't they? Every time you see a Tory MP, they've got a little paper box in their hands, like, well, won't be coming back, won't be needing this.
The ones I see are sending me pictures.
Yeah. Well, they'll have to depend on their OnlyFans pages after this, won't they?
Yes, she is one of the few people in the Labour Party with a personality. Or, perhaps, as David Lammy puts it, she's northern. So the other reason that the Conservatives are going for Angela Rayner is that she does keep demanding that lots of people resign. Here's a list of the people whose resignation Angela Rayner has demanded over the last 5 or 6 years. Have a look at this.
Yeah, but she's not been wrong on any of those.
That's like the worst list of shag, marry, avoid.
OK, so where's Keir Starmer been recently? He's been in Vogue. Did you not catch
In Vogue
it?
magazine?
In the Vogue magazine. Yes,
he?
there was a soft focus profile of Keir and his wife, and it revealed not very much at all.
Oh.
Except there was one bit in it which was good, which was what did Keir's wife-to-be say after she first met him?
Who are you?
I mean, very close. Who the fuck does he think he is? It does seem, though, as though Keir Starmer is getting a little bit more self-awareness.
You all right?
She's ready for a nap.
Give her one of my speeches.
OK, Rishi Sunak also had an interview this week.
Yes.
How did that go?
He gave one to LBC where he couldn't remember the woman's name. She came from Rhonda and he called her Rhonda.
Shall we have a look at the clip?
Yes, please.
Prime Minister, thank you. Let's go to the next call. Louise is in the Rhondda Valley and you're through to the Prime Minister. Go ahead, Louise. Morning to you.
Good morning, Nick. Good morning, Prime Minister.
Hi, Rhonda.
Oh, sorry, it's not Louise in the Rhondda.
Louise, hi.
What can I call you, Ms. Valley?
Unfortunately, that is not the only thing that's gone wrong for the Prime Minister this week. Should we play a bonus game?
Yes, please. Yeah. Bonus game. Bonus game. Does it come with a little bonus game? Bonus game. Bonus game. Bonus game.
It's your own time you're wasting, Bob.
I think you'll find it's the BBC.
All right, should we play a bonus game?
No.
No, we don't want it. I wouldn't wish to waste anybody's time.
We're going to play a round of Rishi's randomiser of rubbish. Fingers on buzzer, teams. Here's the first one.
Oh, do you know this?
He was seen wearing a pair of trainers.
Oh,
Is that...
that is one of them, but not this one.
Oh, OK.
And that'll be the picture of the trainer.
Oh, yeah!
His trousers are too short.
They
Yeah.
were
Trousers were
too
too
short.
short.
People are saying his trousers are 2 inches too short, and Rishi Sunak, he passionately defended his trouser length by telling The Sun, well, I don't think they're short.
I mean, he's not a tall man. He's probably just wearing long shorts.
In that same interview, we found out, where does Rishi Sunak like to go for breakfast?
Oh, God.
Weatherspoons.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He said, we have one at home in North Allerton. I think I still have the app on my phone, which is interesting because the Weatherspoons app stayed on his phone, but not the WhatsApp. Strange. Yeah. OK, fingers on buzzers. Here's the next one. Something tells me you're going to get this one.
OK, go on, go on.
His trousers are too short.
So he's wearing a pair of these Adidas. Yeah. Are they called Sambas? Sambas, yeah. And they were voted Trainer of the Year. And now he's been seen wearing them. Sales will go off a cliff.
Absolutely. Here's what GQ magazine said. Rishi Sunak took an eternally cool sneaker and ruined it for everyone. Next one. Fingers on buzzers. What about this one?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Is this about the houses in Rwanda that were for the people who are going to be sent there? We're going to live in these houses, and these houses have now been sold off.
Indeed. Here is a picture. Would you like to see it of the accommodation and a sad gazumpy? Yeah. Also, the state airline, Rwandair, as it's called, told Rishi Sunak that they don't want to be associated with the government's deportation scheme because of the potential damage to their brand.
They should just give it to Ryanair, surely. They'd do it, wouldn't they? But they'd then drop you off at probably in Burundi or Congo, and you have to get a bus. I've been to Rwanda and I've watched a silverback gorilla mate.
You dirty devil.
With Suella Braverman.
Now, we mustn't forget the Lib Dems. So,
Who?
It's been a bit of an awkward week for Ed Davey because of Alan Bates's evidence at the Post Office inquiry.
Yes.
But what has been tickling him recently?
Mrs. Ed Davey? Is it one of their ploys where they knock over something blue?
Oh, you're absolutely right. It's one of their hilarious visual metaphors.
Oh.
Here we go.
But time is running out for Rishi Sunak.
think you should read Time Slowing Down.
So, this is the news that Labour are preparing for power by getting their financial scandals in early, before they become the government. The accusations emerged in an authorised biography of Rayner, which was titled Red Queen. Annoying, because that means my biography now has to be called Ginger Lady Boffin.
Ginger Lady Boffin.
Yeah, Ginger Lady Boffin.
Look, I'm sticking by it and
Yeah.
it'll be out soon.
Exactly.
Rishi Sunak revealed this week that he was a big fan of a Wetherspoons breakfast. Presumably, when the barman asks him, small vegetarian, Rishi replies, yes, I am. Can I have some breakfast? The Westminster honey trappers are still trying to ensnare politicians by sending them pictures of men and women, and in one case, a tractor. And when Jacob Rees-Mogg was asked to comment on sexting, he said, leave my kids out of this, I'll name them as I please. OK, Paul and Zoe, have a look at this.
Yes, this is the Scrabble news. Scrabble has been around for a very long time as a game, and they're going to introduce a new version of it, which is a simpler version. There's a couple of people arguing over it. There's a simpler version of it coming along, but I don't want people to feel bad about it, but it's called Scrabble for Thickos.
I think they were saying that young people are more compassionate, they're
Yes.
less competitive.
Yes.
And so they want a version that people aren't trying to win. It's a bit like panel games.
Yes. Well, it's been clear that you've not been trying to win for 35 years.
It's my age, I'm very Gen Z.
But there are specialists, aren't there, who know, like, you know, two-letter words, I, Y, or something, you know, some very obscure sort of words.
But that's sort of the dull version of Scrabble,
Yeah.
you know, people who look up to...
Oh, you mean strip Scrabble? Now, there's a game. I think I've got another vowel coming on. Sorry about that.
3 gold cards you get. You also get some helper cards, and you've got to complete 20 challenges. The challenges, though, by the way, they include play a 3-letter word, play a word that touches the edge of the board, and, as ever, stop Grandad putting down a word that's a bit racist. What has Brett Smitherham got to say? Do you know who he is?
No.
He's the UK's #1 Scrabble player. He says that this simpler version is for people who want to avoid a sense of losing, instead favouring working towards a fun goal together.
Yeah.
Thing is, in this show, there is no place for losers or for any fun. So, fingers on buzzers, we're going to have some quick Scrabble-related questions.
What do you mean there's no place for losers? It doesn't matter.
OK, question 1. What is the highest scoring word you can fit on a Scrabble board?
I know this one, it's anaesthetist.
Ooh, it is a medical thing.
Is it waiting list?
That's the longest. By far the longest.
It's oxyfenbutazone. Do you know what that is?
No.
Yeah. It's a bit, you know, we haven't got time to go into it.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Do you have a favourite drug to give patients?
I do, yeah. Look, I get to do cool things. I give ketamine to kids. That's cool, isn't it? Like, pretty much every day I give ketamine or fentanyl to kids, and then I go to work. So...
OK, question 2. Yex is a word that is allowed in Scrabble.
Yex.
Yes.
What does it mean?
Yuck.
Yex. Is it when you're really eager to have sex and you just go, yex?
Does that crop up much in your line of work?
It means to hiccup, everybody. What is the longest word playable using only vowels?
Ooh.
It is you away. It's a Gregorian cadence, apparently. Do you know that word, Ian?
Yes, but you can't use it since 2016 because it's got EU at the front.
This is the news that Scrabble has been made easier for a younger generation who find the game too intimidating and don't like competition. Here's a fun fact about Scrabble. It's the only realm of human experience where Kwasi Kwarteng has any value. And so, to round 2,
Yes.
and in tribute to the late physics genius Peter Higgs, it's time for the Large Hadron Collider of News. Fingers on buzzers, teams.
Yeah. Hang on, that's just the graphic.
Oh, I thought it was the eclipse.
So this is before my time, but I believe there's a TV show called That's Life. From what I understand, that there was a saying that this dog had, which was sausages. They revealed this week that it wasn't actually the dog saying sausages. Everyone believed the dog was, but it turned out actually the dog was growling, and what was making the noise was the owner squeezing the throat during growl.
For those of you who don't remember, would you like to remind yourself of this classic moment?
Tell us what you have on a Thursday, Prince.
Yeah, what's yours, Skippy Prince? What?
He could also say other words. Do you know what other words Prince could say?
Black pudding.
Stop squeezing my throat. Can you contact the OSPCA?
He could say jar, he could say Anthony, and George, who was the neighbour who fed him the sausages. This is the news that the famous talking dog on That's Life wasn't actually saying sausages. The dog was being made to make sounds by its owner squeezing its throat. But the TV crew were reassured that the dog was happy because his tail was wagging. Although it turned out that was only because Esther Ransom was tickling his testicles.
That's life.
OK, fingers on buzzers, teams.
Done it again. This is the eclipse, which was passing through North America, and it happens infrequently, but people are always amazed and amused by it.
Do you want to have a little look at what they saw?
I'd rather not, no.
OK.
Isn't that the logo for Disprin?
Scientists, they also used this as an opportunity to study what effect the eclipse had on the behaviour of animals.
It was amazing. They thought it was night.
Not all of them, though. 'Cause
No.
according to The Guardian, there were zebras at Dallas Zoo who were largely unimpressed by the event.
They do see things in very black and white, though.
And Trump didn't wear the glasses.
You're right. Last time there was an eclipse in the US, Trump was mocked for looking directly at the sun. Do you know what he did this time, though?
He did it again.
No. He released a video on Truth Social to celebrate the occasion.
Oh, my God! There it is!
The idea that you put out a video saying darkness will descend on us.
When the eclipse happened, the most Googled thing was, why do my eyes hurt? Which, I don't know, I'd like to think that we're more advanced than moths, but, you know,
No.
I feel like the next Google question was, how do I get out this lampshade?
You know what, though?
What?
You were right, Paul, about the eclipse looking like the Disprin ad.
Yes. Yeah. No, nothing like it.
It's Panadol, isn't it? It looks like.
That's the one, Panadol. Bring up Panadol. Panadol. Panadol.
It is Panadol, yeah.
Sorry, it's not Disprin, it's Panadol. Let's have a look.
It's
All right, Paul.
Oh, here we go. Good.
Here we go.
That's nothing. What did you You've made me look a right thicko.
Did anyone see how the eclipse was inadvertently covered on Mexican rolling news this week?
There was a particular eclipse which wasn't the eclipse everyone thought it was going to be.
Quite right. Do you have a look at it?
Are we allowed to have a look at it?
I mean, I'm going to play the text.
Naces también en el municipio de Durango, Torreón, Monclova, Musquis, donde está tu familia, Piedras Negras.
I'm no astrologer, but that doesn't look right.
No.
Do we get to see the rings round his anus? I mean, that's...
If we wanted this sort of thing, we could go to the House of Commons.
Time Time now for the odd one out round. Just one between you this week. 900 sub-postmasters, Ronnie Winslow, Daniel Fairbrother and journalists aboard Air Force One.
Well, the post office story is about miscarriage. 900 people denied justice and persecuted for decades and not given any compensation, and now they're finally saying, oh, those people, yes, we knew they were innocent, we just prosecuted them anyway. And the odd one out is that's an absolute national disgrace, and I don't care much about that. Anyway, that...
Are you going to pick an odd one out, or...?
Yes. The Winslow boy.
Yes.
That was a miscarriage of justice.
Stealing a postal order.
Exactly.
But he didn't do.
He didn't, but he was smoking, so he should have been shot.
Yeah.
Any guesses for what the odd one out is?
Yes, the aeroplane, the journalists, because they did it. They nicked stuff off the plane.
You're absolutely right. They have all been wrongly accused of stealing, apart from journalists on board Air Force One who have been asked to return stolen items. So before the Post Office inquiry resumed this week, what was the new evidence, Ian?
ITV had a tape, people saying we had told Paula Venables that Horizon could remotely access and fiddle their accounts. There was that, and then there was further evidence in the inquiry this week, and it is sort of getting there. It literally is everything that anyone has ever said for 2 decades is absolutely true.
I was pleased to see that the BBC did give Private Eye a mention, because Private Eye did play a large part in writing about this story for 20-odd years. That's not enough reason to buy it, but, you know.
Do you know, one of the general managers apologised this week from the Post Office. He said when they put the first pregnant postmistress into jail, she lost her case. He sent a message round saying, brilliant result. He's now said, with hindsight, that doesn't look entirely appropriate.
Well, Channel 4 did catch up with Paula Venables earlier this week. She came out of a church, possibly praying for some kind of miracle. Let's have a little look.
Well, can I ask you to make the statement that you made, just so in terms of the public inquiry? Have you got anything to say about that? Paula, you're accused of lying to MPs. Did you lie to MPs? You're accused of being at the centre of a major cover-up in this whole issue. Would you accept that there's been a cover-up? There's a lot of evidence that there's been a cover-up. Have you anything to say?
And that, as they say, was that.
Yeah, the truth will set you free.
OK, so Air Force One, do we know what exactly the 13 journalists are accused of stealing?
Yeah, cutlery, teacups, towels, anything that's got the sort of presidential insignia on it.
Absolutely.
A wing.
Do they have sick bags on Air Force One?
When Donald Trump's in charge.
I bet they will, yeah.
According to the Daily Telegraph, one of the items suspected of being taken off Air Force One was a tumbler, although that later turned out to be the White House code name for Joe Biden. Daniel Fairbrother, he's the chap with the fridge, and he was stopped by police in Stevenage for carrying a fridge on his back. Anyone know why he was carrying a fridge on his back?
Did they think he'd nicked it?
They did. They thought he nicked it.
Wow.
Yeah. He was actually out running, training to break the record for the fastest marathon carrying a household appliance.
I hope he gave the police the cold shoulder.
Yes.
Thank you.
There we are.
Anyone know why thefts in Scotland would be going up?
Oh, it's something to do with the people who were running it, isn't it?
It is because police, they're too busy dealing with crimes reported under the Scottish Hate Speech Bill.
Oh, yeah, 8,000 of them. The First Minister of Scotland introduces a new bill about hate crimes and says everybody can complain, and most people complain about him.
And also, they announced this law on April Fool's Day, which probably isn't the best. I mean, I try to avoid all those kind of days, especially in hospital, like April Fool's. Oh, the only one is Halloween. Love working in hospital on Halloween, because lots of people dress up as doctors for Halloween, so we feel really well staffed then.
OK, time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication Bushcraft, the magazine dedicated to bushcraft and outdoor skills. And we are going to start with bracelet that what is the new must-have fashion item?
That links you to a policeman.
No, it's bracelet that looks like a roll of sellotape is the new must-have fashion item. Would you like to see this?
Yes, please.
Bracelet made by fashion brand Balenciaga. There you go.
Do we know how much that is?
£3,000.
No. Ooh.
That's a rip-off.
Next up, Ray Mears recently what in the woods near Leicester?
Ray Mears recently spotted mating with an antelope in the woods near Leicester. But it's a case of mistaken identity. It was a horse.
Ray Mears recently demonstrated his extensive bushcraft knowledge in the woods near Leicester. This is a highlight of the bushcraft calendar, the Ray Mears Experience Weekend in Leicestershire. At his demonstration, Ray Mears showed how to obtain clean drinking water through a simple process of nationalising the water companies and taking them back into public ownership. And finally, man having vasectomy during earthquake says what?
I only come in for a haircut. Otherwise known as a short back and whoop.
No, man having vasectomy during earthquake says, I really wasn't worried. This is Justin Allen from New York, who was undergoing the procedure when a 4.8 magnitude earthquake hit the city last week. According to the Daily Mail, the doctor was forced to put his tool down. And so, the final scores are Ian and Ed have 5, Paul and Zoe have 9.
9. Well done.
You were very good. I apologise.
But just before we go, there is just time for the caption competition. Ian and Ed, you've got this.
So what setting did you put the CT scanner on?
Paul and Zoe, you get this.
Oh, yes, the woman is saying, OK, Dean, but only because it's your birthday.
On which note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Ed Patrick, Paul Merton and Zoe Lyons, and I leave you with the news that, on a state visit to the UK, Emmanuel Macron gets the honour of being shown one of Britain's cleanest rivers. In Somerset, there's evidence of another Tory MP caught in a honey trap as Jacob Rees-Mogg's aides are spotted helping him send an intimate sketch of himself. And in Birmingham, one woman, having dropped a piece of pork pie on the kitchen floor, is determined to get it back. Good night, thank you.
Do orangutans experience a midlife crisis? This and other key questions in Uncharted with Hannah Fry. Listen now on BBC Sounds. Here on BBC One, will he ever say it like it is? Avoidance at all costs. The Friday night comedy continues in a moment.